Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 530 News on KPAX, Montana's news leader.
Good evening, I'm Kent Lutzen. A former land trust director from Missoula, Grant Keir, is one of 3 Democrats already running for Montana's lone U.S. House seat. Keir is a newcomer to politics in Montana. On Thursday, he spoke with MTN's chief political reporter, Mike Dennison, about why the race and why he's running.
Grant Keir recently stepped down from his job as director of the Five Valleys Land Trust to run for the congressional seat now held by Republican Greg Gianforte. He says he believes Montanans want a congressman who brings people together to solve thorny problems facing the state and the nation, and that Gianforte isn't doing that.
What I feel like we've seen from our current congressman is that he prefers to focus on how to divide us and how to focus on putting us against one another in terms of our problem solving, and I think we deserve better.
The 42-year-old Kansas native moved to Montana in 2005. He's worked with 2 Western Montana land trusts, helping agricultural landowners, conservationists, and others preserve current land use and access to public land. The 2 other Democrats in the race so far are Billings Attorney John Heenan and State Representative Tom Woods of Bozeman. Keir says he's a Democrat because he believes all people should have equal opportunity to succeed, and that government has a role in that process. He says the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, is a good example of government working to help those who need health coverage, and that it should be maintained and improved.
I believe very strongly that we should be working across party lines to fix what's broken in the Affordable Care Act and make sure that we do not interrupt the important care that people are getting right now through the Affordable Care Act, and we protect what's working with it and we fix what's broken.
For now, Keir says he's traveling the state to introduce himself to voters and try to convince them that he would be a pragmatic problem solver as Montana's congressman.
And I think fundamentally what Montanans are really tired of is a hyper-partisan debate. And I have proven over the years, as I've been in Montana, that I'm respectful of people who have different views than me. I'm capable of building bridges across divides, and I'm capable of finding solutions that impact people's lives every day.
Reporting from Helena, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
The Democratic primary election is still more than 7 months away, next June. State leaders say they have collected about $380,000 in the first 3 months of a new tax on medical marijuana providers. Providers had until Monday to report their sales for the quarter and pay a 4% tax. The Department of Revenue says almost 400 providers reported a total of $9.5 million in revenues. The average tax payment was just under $1,000, but one provider paid $30,000. The new tax is part of a major medical marijuana reform passed by state lawmakers earlier this year. The money raised will be used to set up marijuana tracking system and other new regulatory programs for the industry. Moving on to weather, we could be seeing some strong winds and possible rain tonight and tomorrow. Let's go to our Storm Tracker Weather Center with meteorologist Russ Thomas for more. Russ?
Yeah, I think a little bit of a lot over the next 24 hours. We're going to start up though by looking at our iCam. This is our First Security Bank iCam in Hamilton. Show you that cloudy sky. We've had that in place across much of western Montana throughout the day. A little bit of sunshine in a few spots, but again, not a lot of that. Lake wind advisory is in effect for tomorrow. Part of the system that's going to come in that will bring gusty winds and rain. Wind speeds 15 to 25, gusting to 40. Now I can tell you the winds pick up tonight, rain chances as well, with I think the heaviest rain coming tomorrow morning. After that though, I think we'll be in better shape. We'll have your complete forecast coming up.
Thanks, Russ. Police are still searching for a suspect who allegedly attacked 2 men at a Billings home earlier this morning. A victim was stabbed multiple times on the 500 block of Avenue B at a home next to Billings Senior High School parking lot. Police report the suspect entered the home through an open door, demanded property, and then attacked 2 men with a knife. Both fought back before the suspect fled on foot. Police could not provide details of the suspect other than that he was a man wearing dark clothes. One of the men attacked suffered serious injuries but is in stable condition at the hospital. The other man suffered only minor injuries. Police are still investigating. Back in Missoula, the Clark Fork Market is still providing people with local produce and a fun outing on Saturday mornings. However, next weekend, October 28th, will be the final market of the season. The Clark Fork Market provides fruits, vegetables, meat, poultry, fish, dairy products, fresh baked bread, and other wares from area farmers, ranchers, and food artisans. It'll be open from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. next Saturday. So if you haven't gone to that yet, you better check it out because next weekend will be your last chance. And those flying in and out of the Electric City over in Great Falls might notice the new art that greets them on the way into the Great Falls International Airport. Unique buffalo and bear sculptures were installed outside the facility on both sides of the road earlier this week. New York artist Wendy Klemperer used salvaged steel from scrapyards and construction sites as the material for the two new pieces. The sculpture's inspiration comes from a story of explorer Meriwether Lewis shooting a buffalo before being surprised by a grizzly. Klemperer said she wanted travelers to see her artwork as they drive in and out of the airport. The FBI is now helping the military investigate the death of 4 U.S. soldiers who were killed in an ambush in the African nation of Niger. Earlier this month, one of the fallen soldiers who was at the center of a war of words between President Trump and a Florida congresswoman was laid to rest today. Roxanne Saberi reports from New York.
Friends, family, and fellow soldiers honored Sergeant LaDavid Johnson as he was laid to rest in his home state of Florida on Saturday. His pregnant widow, Maisha, said goodbye one final time. Questions are growing over how 25-year-old Johnson and 3 other U.S. service members died in an attack in Niger on October 4th. Also, why Johnson's body was found almost a mile from the ambush site and how he became separated from his comrades. And it's unclear why his patrol had not expected enemy contact in a part of the country where this UN map shows 46 attacks took place over the last 20 months. On Friday, Defense Secretary James Mattis spoke to reporters after meeting with Senator John McCain, who has called for more details about the attack.
We can do better at communication. We can always improve on communication, and that's exactly what we'll do.
President Trump's efforts to console Johnson's widow launched a war of words with Florida Congresswoman Frederica Wilson.
He never called him a hero.
Look, I've called many people, and I would think that every one of them appreciated it.
In an interview set to air Sunday, the president insisted he said nothing wrong. Roxana Saberi, CBS News, New York.
Sergeant Johnson leaves behind his pregnant wife, a daughter, and a son. A senior Republican senator says members of the Armed Services Committee will be briefed next week about the fatal attack. Now, coming up next, Montana ranks near the top across the nation for suicides. MTN's Shannon Newth looks into the high rates of suicides amongst Montana veterans and asks how Montana is combating this growing problem.